Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you. And you know, Jason, we're talking about a football team tonight in the Saginaw United, the former Saginaw High and Arthur Hill, that have really struggled offensively to put it in the end zone.
You know, they have, and this is going to be a situation where I think Western's really going to be on the aggressive from the defensive standpoint. They're coming off a 46-18 loss last week at the hands of league leading Mount Pleasant in a game that I think they want to put behind them, and they have an opponent in front of them that struggled to score, that they are hoping that they can maybe regain some confidence, regain some mojo as they get ready for the end of the season run.
I think when you look at the way the schedule went, this, at least on paper, looks like the perfect rebound game, but you also caution anywhere in the Saginaw Valley League showing up usually is not good enough.
No, and you got to understand that Saginaw United, although they haven't scored a lot of points, that doesn't mean they don't have athletes. That means that they don't have skilled players in certain positions. Combining two teams like they had two high schools that are rivals to try to make them mesh and get them to mesh together isn't as easy as people may think from the outside. There's a lot of logistics there that may not line up, and as a coach you're trying to manage so many different pieces that again, it doesn't mean you don't have the athletes, it doesn't mean you don't have the skilled players, it just means at this particular moment they haven't put it together.
Well, and coexist is what it's all about, and you have to coexist. Then you've got to learn to become good teammates, then you start to gel, and unfortunately, it's a process. It's not just something you flick a switch and it happens.
No, you're right. I think, you've been rivals since you've been born. If you're Saginaw High, you certainly don't like Arthur Hill and vice versa. Now you got to be forced, if you want to play the sport, to play together. Now you got stuff at home. You got the outside noises. You got a lot of different things that can really affect you. I mean, again, you're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids at the end of the day, and there's a lot of outside influences that really can impact the football program.
5 years here at Western now for Coach Willerts, and I distinctly remember back when they were contemplating bringing him in, I told the folks here at Western, I said, this is as close to a can't-miss hire as you may ever have. And I think now that they look back on it, he is really starting to leave a lasting imprint on this program.
I mentioned this a couple weeks ago when we were here for the Midland Dow game. Coach Willett just has fun. He demands a lot, but at the end of the day, he's the type of coach that kids want to play for. You look at their roster size. We're doing games in Class A or Division I that are getting 25 kids on the roster. He's got 35, 37, 40, plus he's not bringing up any sophomores for these games. So there's a reason for that, and it starts at the top. And Coach Willert's being here and being able to have time, too. He had to have time to implement what he thought would be a successful foundation for this success for Warrior football. By giving him the leeway, by giving him, they don't give, 5-year contracts at the high school level, but by giving him those years of just take your lumps early, but develop. And he has. He's done a great job. I enjoy calling his games because I enjoy watching him on the sideline because, again, he's almost as entertaining to watch, energetic, spunk, and his players play like that.
Well, and he's able to walk the halls every day, too. So he's able to make certain that everybody is in tune with the expectations of the program, and that's huge.
And if you don't know Coach Will, he's a good-sized gentleman. So when you say walking the hall, he's commanding the halls because there's nothing about him that is small in stature. So, when he walks around, he's got a loud voice, but he's got a great laugh. He's got a strong fist, but he's got a soft hug, a soft touch. So, he understands the balance of what it takes to be a coach and understands what it takes, from being in the school, being around these kids. Some days you got to kick them in the butt. Some days you got to give them a pat on the back. And being able to recognize that is another one of his strengths.
When he's in the weight room, he's certainly no stranger to a kid that he doesn't feel maybe is doing something right or putting forth the effort. And he can still toss around the 45s with pretty good authority.
Yeah, again, we're not talking about a 5'5", 300-pound man that hasn't touched a weight in a while. He can handle his own, and again, just watching him in warm-ups, and I mean, I'm afraid for these linemen that are going up. I'm afraid that he's just going to go down in the stance himself and decide to test them a little bit. So, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be fun. Western looking to get back on the winning edge. I mean, they got band night tonight. They're honoring the seniors in the band. So, again, we were here for homecoming and all that extracurricular activities, the extravagance of it all. And now tonight they got the band doing some stuff. So I think it's just going to be a great night for football here in the cornfield.
Well, it's a great weather night as well, and that about puts the wraps on our Covenant Healthcare-sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action in just a minute on BCTV.
When you want to show someone you care, you go above and beyond. It's the little things that make someone feel extra special. The extra time, the extra effort, the extra attention to detail. It can have an extraordinary effect on people.
I'll never let you down. I need you now.
So when you care this much about your family, from the youngest to the oldest, you send them to the place that specializes in extraordinary care. Covenant Healthcare. We make families feel extra safe with a leading team of experts in the Great Lakes Bay region. We take the extra steps to deliver the most advanced technologies and training. We go the extra mile as you journey from diagnosis to recovery. We give families extra hope. Why do more people trust their families to Covenant Healthcare? Because we've proven ourselves over time, across generations, and treat your family like you do, with extraordinary care. So you can continue to do so for generations to come.
Good evening and welcome to the cornfield. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you. Glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place is doing the camera work tonight, so we're elated Matthew's in the house. And we've got a matchup tonight that we talked in our pregame show is kind of the perfect potential rebound game from a tough one last week.
It can be, and the one thing I like about this staff and Coach Willis has put together is, these are games where they would call them trap games. You'd go into a game, you just think you're going to walk in, you suit up, the game's going to be over. And, his staff doesn't allow his players as that kickoff goes out of bounds. And we'll get to see the coaching staff make a decision right away. But, you get a coaching staff that really gets on the guys and lets them understand that, hey, we are not going to take this team for granted. We're not going to take this opponent for this. And we are going to make sure that we prepare the way that we want to prepare.
Well, and I would be pretty safe in saying, knowing Coach Willards as well as I do, and you do as well, that he's going to have his team ready. It doesn't matter if you're playing for the history of the universe. This team is not going to look past him, and this Saginaw team's going to smack you in the mouth. They've got great athletes, and Western has to be gaps sound and just come down. They've got to finish when they have an opportunity because obviously Saginaw's got team speed.
Absolutely, they do. And they get to the outside, it's watch out at that point.
Motion to the near side with a jet sweep, and again, that is designed. It looked like he dipped in off right guard and said, oh my, there's not much there. I better just slide back to the outside, and tacklers were led on the play by Frost. But a nice gain of about 7 yards on the play on first down. A nice jet sweep.
Yeah, if you're Lee Arthur, the head coach of the United, you couldn't have scripted a better first down play. Now let's see what he can come back with on down number 2.
Again, motion. They're not going to run that jet sweep twice. They run the handoff right up the middle, and
nice penetration.
Western has got that play snuffed. As up out of the bottom of the stack comes number 12 with the tackle, Colton Hopp.
He was in there quick.
And if we're a little slow on giving you the Saginaw United names with the numbers. They are not in any type of numerical order, and so they are all over the place, and we're going to do our best. That's what I'll tell you.
Do our best, and the gray numbers on the white uniforms really don't help us out either.
That will all change. So trying to turn around the corner. I don't think he's going to have the speed to get around the corner. It looks like Hop makes his second play in a row.
Nice play.
With a tremendous job on the quarterback. And the quarterback I am looking for, and I do not even find a number 7 on there. Do you, brother?
I have not. I'm the one who wrote the numbers. Let me make sure. Nope, I don't. We'll get it figured out. We want to make sure that we give the kids from Saginaw United as much airplay as possible. Just challenging at the moment, but we will get it taken care of.
Loss of 2 on the play, 4th and 4, an obvious punting situation, and late personnel onto the field now to make that number up to 11.
Lots of time, there's the hand goes up, so you're just to get under 10 seconds.
So here comes Western with some modest pressure, and
ooh,
that ball is
fire should have been called.
Looking like it's going to drop on about the 36-yard line, so not the roll that Saginaw United was hoping for, but pretty good starting field position for the Western Warriors as they touch the ball for the first time with 10:37 left in our first quarter of play.
Yeah, they're going to get up, I think, quick to the line. We watched them a couple weeks ago when we talked about how they want to run the ball, they want to establish the run. They didn't just establish the run against Millendale. They established scoring runs. They scored on 10 of their 11 possessions, as Aiden Robinson is going to be the first to carry the ball here.
Oh, and he starts off with about a 16-yard gain on the play, as he was unbelievable 2 weeks ago when we did the Midland Dow game. The way he was able to get to the corner, and Clark just did a great job of managing the offense. And, they started the game off a couple of weeks ago with a 68-yarder to Frost. So that kind of caught Midland Dow by surprise. And
caught us by surprise. Yeah. Going to be Robinson again, bouncing off one.
As he gets about 4 the hard way. And there's going right to the whistle. Again, nothing dirty about it. They're just blocking right straight to the whistle. It's all clean. Very frustrating, though, when you got 270 pounds worth of offensive linemen on 160 at best soaking wet defensive corner.
Yeah, Jack Ivan definitely carried out his blocking scheme there as far as he could to the whistle, as you said.
It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Clark making it happen.
Yeah, Clark on the keeper, goes down the field, and he gets inside the 25-yard line, down to about the 23-yard line. So chunk plays early for this Western offense.
Well, I think that's the one thing that this offense really can do, and it's tough to stop. You got Robinson who can take it. You got Ogosh who can take it. You got Clark who can run it, and more importantly, who can pass it, which then opens up his running game even that much more. So many different combinations of ways that this Western offense can hit you.
Trying to come to the near side of the field. Room to turn the corner inside the 10-yard line is Robinson again, and Robinson says, I'm going to give us a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line, so another 14-yard play. So he's coming into the game averaging 8.9 yards per carry, and he has exceeded that early on.
Well, last week against Mount Pleasant, they bottled him up. He was a primary focus, and again, Mount Pleasant deserves their number 2, number 3 ranking in the state. I don't think it was a true indication of how good they were versus how, Western is as not a good catch. I was going to say great passing catch, but unfortunately just off the fingertips. But going back to Robinson, last week it's bottled up. So this week I expect to see him really running
angry,
yeah. Harder.
And that was Ogosh pass that he wants back, because that was very well thrown by Clark and went through the wickets.
Well, sometimes it hits you in the hands, and you wish it was a more difficult catch.
Yep, you almost have too much time to look at it coming in, and you just lose that split second of focus. There goes Robinson around the outside, inside the 5-4-3-2-1. He's down to the end zone. He's in the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
So that was a hard run right there. I didn't think he was going to get there, but them little legs just kept churning and churning and churning until he went from the 3 to the 2 to the 1 and then got the ball across the goal line.
Well, what we've seen of him so far this year, he finishes, and that's what I love to see in a good running back. Very seldom do you see contact with him where he is neutral or moving backwards. He's always falling forward for that extra yard or two, as it looks like Malin will attempt the extra point. There's a good snap, kicks up, it's long enough, and good. Time out of the field with 8:44 left in our first quarter of play. Western 7, Saginaw United nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV as we get ready for the kickoff as Western holds Saginaw United to 3 and out, and then a methodical drive from their own 36, taking about 7 plays and ended up with pay dirt.
Yeah, one pass on the offering. Everything else was on the ground. Again, another staple of what they want to do, as this kickoff is going to be taken by number 6.
Boy, as he tries to run laterally, he is met by the Western Warriors. And again, it's that gap integrity when you're on the kickoff team. Even if it doesn't look like you're part of the play, your job is to stay in your lane and to make things happen. And boy, the Saginaw United runner went right into about 3 people's lanes and paid the price.
I think every step that he started taking toward the middle of the field, it just looked browner and more brown and brownister.
And that's not the grass.
No, we're only in week 6 here. We got green grass still.
1st and 10 for Saginaw United. We are going to guess that McCune is the quarterback. We do not have a number on him, so that's who's going to have the opportunity. Is nice run on 1st down for about 5 yards, almost 6 for Saginaw United.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. 30 comes out of the pile. Well,
Mason Blair with the initial hit defensively.
I thought he was able to strip the ball before he came down, just from our vantage point. Unfortunately, the official said down. Brings up 2nd down and 5 for the United.
And I think that'll be a theme, Jason, all night long. I think the Western defense is going to look for some turnovers by trying to rip the ball out.
I think so. I agree with that 100%. I think, again, trying to he gets close to the 1st down marker.
Nope, they're going to call him just a touch short, like maybe 6 to 12 inches shy. I'm going to say they're going to call him, they're going to back that ball up just so it doesn't look like it's on the line. So very nicely done as the head linesman comes all the way out almost to the hash to say, oh no, let's back this thing up. I've already marked it as 3rd down.
I think the Western defense before the play, they want to impose their will. And I think one of the things that they would like to do besides get quarterback rushes is trying to create a couple of turnovers here, especially early. Again, set the tone.
Well, great penetration, but boy, what a nice job trying to bounce that thing to the outside, cuts it back right behind his left tackle. It ends up with a positive play, and that is number 3, and unfortunately that's not one of the numbers that we got.
Well, it was a nice run. He kind of squirted himself out of there, It was a big brown hole from our vantage point again, from being up here at the cornfield. But all of a sudden he squirts through and he gets the 1st down and gets the sticks moving for the United.
Well, and there's some beef on the line for this Saginaw United team. They're not putting 180-pound kids out there, no. So they're able to make it happen here. It's their first down of the game. Motion goes the other way, caught in the backfield and able to slip away from the first couple of tackles, turns a 2-yard loss into a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, it was a very impressive run. I thought Western had them bottled up again. Sometimes better offense beats better. I thought they did everything correct.
Mason Blair amongst the first hit, and Mason has been very popular defensively here in the first 2 series for Bay City Western. as we're approaching the 6-minute mark left in our first quarter of play.
I think it's always better to not have your safeties or your cornerbacks being your leading tacklers, because that's a bad thing. So
when you get through the front 7 and you're at the back 4, you're right. Those guys are not built the way that you want them to have to be taking the punishment. Jet sweep to the outside, and doesn't look like there's much there. A couple of nice attempted tackles and missed by Western. That is not going to be something that Coach Willards is going to enjoy in the film room. They had him for about a 3-yard loss, and 2 missed tackles later, we're moving the sticks.
Looked like Jordan Allen, number 11 there on the sweep, just kind of kept going and extending it and extending it and extending it, was able to get to the corner and turn it, as they are now sniffing the western side of the football field at the 49-yard line.
They are in the Western territory, and I'm pretty certain now, looking at how animated some of the assistant coaches are on the sideline on the defensive side of the ball, they're not totally enamored with the effort from their defense yet, but that'll get fixed.
I think they're trying to make a point.
1st and 10 against Saginaw United. McCune, he's back there. Looks like kind of a broken play, and he gets stood up and then pushed back by a whole bunch of Western Warriors.
Yeah, it was a great defensive team tackle right there, as 99 was in on the tackle and picked him up and just set him down. And the good thing is I thought they had him for about a 4 or 5 yard loss, and they're only stat-wise, only a loss of 1.
Some serious forward progress there. But 2nd down and 10 plus a skosh for the Saginaw United Club as we're approaching 5 minutes left in our first quarter of play. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place filming. So it's our trifecta of fun here on a Friday night out in the cornfield, week number 6.
Ball back at the 50-yard line, under 5 minutes left here in quarter number 1. Western holding a tenuous 7-0 lead.
And boy, had some movement there by the tight end, and there's a little miscommunication on that. And United's very, very fortunate that they didn't get some movement on the offensive line, but an incomplete pass.
They got movement. They just didn't
no
get called.
Call. Yeah.
I tell you what, I thought, his receiver sat down in a nice soft spot. I thought if he could have got it to him, again, you want to try and cut 3rd and 10 down, at least, or 2nd and 10 down, at least 3rd and 5, make it manageable in case you're still thinking 4-down territory. Just keep going half and half and half, and sat down, but he ended up throwing it to the sideline there. So
well, there was some miscommunication somewhere in that route, because there was not a ton of pressure on the quarterback, McCune. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. McCune back with a 5-step drop. Here comes the Western pressure over the middle. The pass was intended on the play for number 8, Purifoy. I think Purifoy's arms got just a little bit short as he kind of sensed that the safety was up, ready to make a hit.
We call that T-Rex arms. They just kind of pull them back a little bit.
Yeah, we call them alligators, but yep, the same thing. Now,
concept.
Frost is going to go back to return this kick for Western. And those kids that go across the middle and they're fearless, it's extremely tough. Boy, you're going to be stretched out and you're going to take a lick as that ball is kicked. And it looks like there's a chance for Frost to return this ball. Boy, he makes the first 2 people miss. He makes the 3rd person miss, but he is into the middle of the field, and he's got a return of about 8 yards on the play. So
entertaining 8.
Nice job as he's shaking and baking out there. So 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for the Western Warriors.
Well, big second possession here. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. It didn't take them but seven plays the first time, but the other thing was that I think they maybe took about 3 minutes off the clock. We know they're capable. We know Robinson can get to the outside. Oh, gosh, on a counter.
Uh-oh. We got one guy back here that's moving the wrong way. He's got it figured out. He's coming back. Oh, he says, I hate that when I'm on the deep wing on the wrong side. He's all better.
He says, I bet you don't saw that. I bet you got
I'll act like I didn't. Here comes Clark on the near side of the field. Very, very patient run as he waited for his blocks to set up. There didn't look like there was much there. And the next thing you know, he's got a gain of 6 on the play.
It was a nice run. Again, you mentioned patience. You know, how many times do we watch kids week after week and they're almost too fast to hit their hole versus being patient and allowing it, first off, to open up. He just followed his blockers until he waited for the right possible opportunity for him to make a little cutback. Picked up a nice gain of 7 on the play.
2nd down and 3 yards to go. Again, Clark out of that shotgun. There's a little counter action play. And that one could go a long ways. Oh, gosh, down at the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, cuts back. It is brought down at the 11-yard line with a touchdown saving tackle by Jordan Allen. Boy, I'll tell you what, very nice misdirection play there, went big.
Well, we're watching it from up here, and we saw the entire Saginaw defense. Now, the only good thing that Allen had was his angle pursuit, and he took a proper pursuit. He had good speed and was able to match the speedy Ogosh step for step there as he was about to take it to the house, as you say.
And I thought Ogosh was in the end zone, so I credit Allen with being able to use that speed and the right angle to make that play down at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, just outside the 10. Clark going up as he tried to go up the middle, and he got grabbed by big number 74 out there, and that is Johnson. Once he latched on, Clark knew that that run was just about done.
Time was not on his side, as the Rolling Stones once said.
He's got a yard on the play, though, so he does get positive yardage.
He was swung forward.
Yeah, a couple of their big fellas are playing on both sides of the ball, so we'll find out as the game rolls on what kind of stamina is involved.
Stamina, conditioning, week 6, you know, haven't really put a lot of points on the board. You know, a lot of frustration gets put out there as Clark keeps it.
But not much there. Again, as big number 74, Johnson, comes out. And
I thought that might have been a broken. I think there was some miscommunication. I think he was supposed to go right, and he went left because there wasn't a lot of blocking on that left side. That's something that, again, watching the games and watching Western specifically, is they're pretty well disciplined. They know where they're supposed to run. It may not always work, but they know where they're supposed to go.
So it'll be 3rd down and 9 yards to go. They can still get a 1st down just inside the 2-yard line. I'm looking for something to go to the wide side of the field here. As they run it to the outside, Clark says, I can run this. I can get 7, 8, 9 yards, 10 yards. He's very close to the 1st down marker, as it will be a 4th down and 1 yard to go situation. Boy, he waited and he waited and he waited, and he was going to force it, and he went, wow, I got a lot of green grass in front of me. Tuck it and go.
Well, it makes it, again, we just talked about it when Saginaw United had the ball. What do you want to do on 3rd and long? You want to try and cut it down. He got it down to 4th and 2, so definitely was in a better situation to, if they're going to go for it, which appears they are. You know, 4th and 2 is a lot easier to go at than 4th and 7, 4th and 8.
Well, let's see who gets their hands on the ball. Clark, he's following his blockers. 3-2-1, he's sniffing the end zone. He's in the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
Man, he exemplifies patience on his runs on that drive specifically. But, man, you know, just wait, and go.
Well, what I like about his run is he's patient, but when he decides to go north and south, he squares up the shoulders and finishes.
Right. He doesn't decide to go when he's going east and west. He decides once he can able to turn it up. You know, again, you're sniffing the goal line, 2. You needed 2. You may as well get 3, right?
He did it with authority. Malin again with the attempt for the extra point. A little bit of a low snap, but it's a good job of holding that time. And I believe Clark gets credit for that. The extra point is up and good. Time out on the field with 1:04 left in the first. Western 14, Saginaw United nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic, Bay City.
Back on BCTV as Malin gets ready to kick the ball off. So Western kicks off to start the game and is still able to put 2 touchdowns on the board in the first quarter. So pretty good start for this Western team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they wanted to bounce back. They're bouncing back so far here in quarter number one. And, again, defense trying to impose their will, trying to do a lot of good things. And now what they're going to try to do, let's see if they can force a couple turnovers.
Well, able to turn the corner with great speed out to the 36-yard line is Jordan Allen. And Allen really found another gear to get around the corner as, again, Western had good gap integrity, but just not able to finish. A couple of missed tackles.
Well, we always talk about being in the right spot, but once you just because you're in the right spot doesn't mean the player's going to go down. You still have to make sure you fundamentally get low, stay low, hit low, and bring them down, or at least slow them up so that allows your teammates to jump on.
I'm going to be very interested to see if the spirited conversation they had with the defense after the last series doesn't find instant results in being able to finish, as Western's showing like they're coming from about 3 different spots. As McCune comes back, there's limited pressure. That ball down the middle, and that is 2 wide receivers and 3 defensive backs. The abacus says the simple math isn't the best
Not
spot
in your
to
favor
throw.
right there, no. But again, stretch them out. Why? Because if you're going to try and run these jet sweeps, or you're going to try to get that running game going, if you can't show the ability to pass, you're going to have 8-9 guys in the box, and that's really going to affect what you can do.
Well, McCune actually showed a nice arm there. He lofted it probably 45 yards in the air, and that's a pretty good substantial throw. Unfortunately, it doesn't bear any fruit, and it puts Saginaw United behind the chains on 2nd down and 10. McCune again looking at people coming on different blitz packages. Looks like they're ready to come from the corner. And absolutely nowhere to go for that running back. As again, you get upfield, you take 2 steps, you read, then you attack. And that's exactly what we got from O'Loughlin, as he was able to go up 2 steps upfield, see what's going on, collapse down on the play, and make the tackle.
Absolutely. He's been in there a couple of times where he's got a good snap count, and he's able to shed the initial blocker. I think, was it the other one? Spencer was in there. They're able to get off, as it looks like they're going to let this clock run down to the end of the first quarter. But to finish that note, they are getting some better penetration. And again, that little conversation with the coaches, the little adjustment being made, and this is their their first opportunity out there to show what they learned.
Well, learn to finish. That's, I think, what the message could have been on the sidelines in a maybe paraphrased version. At the end of our first quarter of play, it's Western 14, Saginaw United nothing. Back in a moment for the second quarter on BCTV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Well, that was, I get tired just watching them.
Well, I'm surprised me and you would have been down there. Would have knocked each other out halfway through the first ensemble.
We would have trombone on the noggin.
trombone Ushin.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Saginaw United. Again, Western looks like they're attempting to come with a blitz. I think that they're going to bring 5, and that's exactly what they do. McCune is just kind of cornered with nowhere to go. Initial hit looks like it's going to be on Colton Hopp again. As Hop's done a very nice job in this game. They pinched on both sides, and by the time McCune knew what was going on, it was a 6-yard loss.
Yeah, he's having a great night here first quarter, and a couple minutes here in the second quarter. We've called his name quite a few times for getting up in there. So, tell you what, but he made sure he wrapped that quarterback up and didn't give any opportunity for maybe getting a little elusive back there.
Well, and Malin is the other person other than Frost back. You know, he's a defensive back. He's your kicker. Very seldom do you get to see one of those people also out there on the kick return. But we remember a couple of weeks ago from Midland Dow, he laid some devastating hits on those Midland Dow Chargers. There's a short kick that's going to be taken by Malin. He gets a block to head to the outside. He's going to be able to turn the corner and make that return of about 13, 14 yards. So almost back to the line of scrimmage from the punt.
Yeah, nice return. Going to take him back down to about the, we're going to call it 35. Great field position for the Warriors here on their 3rd drive of the evening.
Not certain when they go through the film that catch like a center fielder is going to be
Chet Lemon, baby, Chet Lemon.
Might be talked about just a little bit, but you know what's important is that you catch it and you're able to make something happen. And great short field for the Western Warriors here with 11 minutes left in our first half. Clark back, and he's running for his life, comes to the near side of the field. He's going to throw that thing downfield. He's got Frost. He's going to be into the end zone, but we've got the hat off on the deep side official, and I believe that means that Frost went out of bounds and was the first person to touch coming back in. This might not be the 6 points.
This is going to be what they call in the official game illegal touch. You cannot, unless you're forced out of bounds by the defender, but you cannot willingly exit the playing field and be the first person to touch the football.
Well, and when that deep third judge, side judge, threw that his hat, it went all the way to the track. John Folson, assistant principal, had to go get it and throw it back in the proximity so that he didn't have to go too far to get it. So, again, a very, very lengthy conversation, and I know you want to get it right, but this seems pretty simple.
Well, they got to ask, did you see, was there any contact? They've got to make sure that there was nothing that was not noticed maybe initially. So just, double check real quick. Nope, no touch, no contact, no nothing. Illegal touch would have going to be a couple.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down, and I'm waiting for the official to make an official statement that and we're going to have an illegal touch. And so that will move the ball back 15 yards. And again, the only thing that can change that is the fact that they have got, what's that?
So the penalty for the illegal touch was declined. They had a hands of the fist to the head. So they had an offensive helmet contact. So that was what was done at the middle of the field where the flag was at right around the 30-yard line. So, again, we were watching the action. Flag had come out, which, again, goes back to their conversation, what they were talking about. So,
well, and the only thing is that if that hat's going to fly, you have to be certain that they're not pushed out of bounds as the little counteraction play is going to go for a
modest.
We call it modest. It's still going to be almost 6 yards, and on 1st and 25, that's just a small chunk, but Western does a nice job to move the sticks forward down just inside the 45-yard line.
We say modest 5-yard gain. Well, if it's 1st and 10, it'd be modest. Get up to 2nd and 5. Well, if you're now at 1st and 25, all of a sudden 2nd and 20 seems a little bit more still out there.
I see them going counteraction. As the timing was off on this play.
He's got him.
Clark's coming to the near side of the field and underthrows Frost, and the ball is picked off by Saginaw United. And Boy, I'll tell you, Clark, if he put some air under that, Frost was 10 yards behind the closest defender.
He was open. I'm not sure. I think the defensive backs, when the ball went on the ground, I think they froze, heels in the ground. Obviously, Kaysen doesn't see the ball going on the ground. He's running his route, winds up 10 yards back. But I also thought Clark right there had maybe a chance to get them feet set. You get them feet set, you're going to be able to get some a little loft on that ball versus trying to throw it on the run.
Now, my thought on that play is the timing of the play was off. I think the center snapped the ball before the rest of the line moved, and I don't think Clark was ready for the ball, and I think by him fumbling it through the timing of the play off, that maybe throws your concentration off a little bit and results in a turnover.
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about Western really trying to ramp up defensively to try and get some turnovers themselves. Well, Saginaw United right now up 1-0 in that category.
McCune out of the shotgun. Handoff trying to go to the outside, and he cuts back to the inside and picks up around 3 yards on the play before he's met by a whole bunch of Western defenders. And again, one of the first ones there is number 53, Blair, who we've called quite a bit tonight.
Absolutely. It's always nice when we can say it first and then the announcer will say it like he's almost listening to us.
Well, you know, Matt, love listening to Matt because Matt learned from one of the absolute best in the area. His dad at All Saints for years and years and years was nothing short of incredible.
Oh, he was incredible since the 70s, all the way through our playing days over at All Saints. Between Matt's graduated 93 and I was 94. Fabian had that voice, man. Woof.
Yep, and he had the love and the passion. We've been blessed over the years with some great voices. Quick little toss to the outside and another spin move off a missed tackle as Frost says, boy, how did he spin away from me? That catch went to number one, and unfortunately I can't give credit to number one.
Well, we can give credit to him.
Just came by name. So another gain of about 4 on the play. It'll be third down and a long 3-yard-to-go situation as Western probably self-admittedly is not bringing the early intensity that they want into this game, but they'll continue to get better and the message will continue to be sent.
Absolutely, but the one thing, let's just go back to the last play, the one thing that Frost did, even though he won't get credit with the tackle, by spinning that receiver around, allowing his teammates to come finish it without allowing the Saginaw United a first down. Now
McCune gets away from one. He does not get away from O'Loughlin, though.
Oh, sir.
As the first one swung by, that caused McCune to have to reroute, and as soon as he rewrote, he could not reprogram that route.
he was looking for his GPS.
Yeah, he got O'Loughlin before he could reroute on the GPS. Loss of about 5. It'll be fourth down and 11 for Saginaw United. And, you know, little things like that have been part of the reason, Jason, they've only been able to put up 7 points on the board this year.
Well, they got their turnover, a little momentum, kind of. You saw a little almost deflation a little bit on the Warriors sideline, and that was really an opportunity if you were going to take advantage of. That would have been a great opportunity to take advantage of for the United, as they got a whole host of line changes coming on.
Well, and they got a wide receiver out there that had not gotten covered until recently. And Frost says, I'll pick it up on the first hop. And he makes a couple of people miss again before he goes down at the 43-yard line. But he was kind of indecisive for a minute whether or not he wanted to catch that. And by the time he decided to do it, it touched his hands, went right straight down. And very seldom do you get a fortuitous bounce like he got right back into his lap.
We must have spoke last week, Brother Gwiz and I, that the ball isn't round, and all of a sudden the next 2 times that ball goes down, it comes right back up like a basketball. He's the son of a gun.
Well, that's why Jeff Beisel always opted not for the onside kick, but the squib, because it took a whole bunch of funny hops.
Absolutely.
First and 10 Western. Clark back, throwing it out on the wing, a completed pass, sliding forward down to the 32-yard line. Going to be enough to move the sticks. And that's Ogosh.
Yeah, Ogosh with a nice come. Just came out real simple, out of his counter tray position where he normally runs, and safe pass. But you know what? Look at Coach Willits. Last pass, interception, come right back. Let's show some confidence in our young junior and allow him a chance to make amends there. And Great pass. Great
Coach,
connection.
I tell you what, man, you're inside my head tonight. It's exactly what I was going to say. After an interception, make it an easy throw and get the confidence level back. He's going to throw again. He's got some time. Ooh, he's got a wide open receiver out in the flat, but he's going to take it himself, breaks a couple of tackles, and picks up 9 yards on the play. Down to about the 25-yard line before he's brought down, and nice when your quarterback can get almost 9 yards out of a broken play.
Well, we talked about Saginaw United throwing the ball, trying to make sure that you're keeping that defense. And what we saw there is you come out on first down, you come out throwing it. You come out your second first down, looking to throw it. But it spreads out your defense, and it opens up the gaps and allows your quarterback, who is a very valuable runner, an opportunity.
So trying to come to the outside again. The ability to make that first person miss and getting the first down and more. You got to blow that dead. And as he's going back right now, as a head linesman, when you're at the spot of forward progress, you've got to blow that dead. There's nothing good going to happen after you've got 5 people clinging on to you from Saginaw United. So would like to see that get blown dead just a little bit quicker. And if the 1 in a million chance that guy squirts out, he's not going to squirt out with 5 people jumping on him.
No, and Lucas Julian, who came into the game against Dow with some real powerful runs and showed some flashes of speed in that game as well, just came out with that one. Another a nice run.
Julian's got a couple of people in the convoy in front of him. Back across the green. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
Can't speak about him as quick as he gets the ball back in his hands and takes it to the house.
Well, it looked like student body right, Jason, and he goes to the right, and all of a sudden he goes, wow, cut back across the green. I see a whole lot of green grass.
Student body right, cut back city. I'm going to the city, baby.
He went from the country to the city untouched on that play into the end zone for another touchdown for Western. Oh. Clark to hold for Malin to attempt the extra point. This is a good snap. Kick is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. Time out of the field was 6:30 left in our first half. Western 21, Saginaw United nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, Jecto and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place doing the filming tonight. Nick Page on a little date night for a concert at the Soaring Eagle tonight, so we wish him and Mama a little fun.
No, we were allowed to take vacations on Friday nights during the fall.
Well, we're not. Well,
we're not the boss.
I maybe did last week, but I was working. I wasn't vacationing, so Western set to kick off. Malin's going to put the boot into this one high and deep, and that'll be taken and dropped on the 5-yard line. Finally picked up, and there will be nowhere to go here.
No.
And he is down on the 1/2-yard line. And boy, the Western Warriors were all looking, going, ooh. Clap those hands together up over the top of the head. This one could be interesting, but they're going to officially give him the 1-yard line. And as soon as that ball was dropped by Allen, he looked up and he saw nothing but a lot of Dirk Brown heading right for him.
Well, it was Brown coming at you, but let me tell you something. You drop the ball within the 5-yard line. You don't go east and west. Don't try to, you want to be a hero. I get it. But just go forward, fall, take a knee. There's a lot of things you could do besides run backwards.
The best option was probably not the one that he did, and I think he got a generous spot just shy of the 2-yard line.
Yeah, they moved it up a little bit, didn't they?
But again, whenever you're snapping the ball from your end zone, you've got your hands full back there. McCune says, I better call a timeout here and make sure that we're all on the same page. So timeout Saginaw United. They'll have 2 remaining. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody, and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back on Bay County TV as we watch Saginaw United come out of their end zone, and I'm not really certain what the quarterback saw personnel-wise that forced him to call a timeout. The back judge had not even utilized his 10-second clock yet, so McCune saw something that he wasn't happy with, so he called the timeout, and better safe than sorry, you got 3 of them, so it'll be 1st and 10, Saginaw United.
Yeah, I was kind of looking around. I actually counted the players. I thought maybe they had 12 out there, but they didn't have that situation either. But, again, when you're snapping it out of your end zone and you got that Western pressure able to get in and penetrate, make sure that everything is on the right page and on the same page and allow those guys an opportunity to talk it over.
As they gain on the play of a couple of yards, it'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go as we are approaching and just touched that halfway point of the second quarter with 6 minutes and counting left. Here comes big number 53 back into the game, and that's Blair, as he's been a big part. And we're going to have an officials timeout right now. It's 55 is coming off the field, and that's Ethan Spencer, who's had a pretty good start to this football game. Looks like he's got a little hitch in his giddy-up.
Oh, now they're calling him back. Hey, just kidding.
Well, no, they thought it was a timeout, and it was officials timeout for an injury, so I can see where the Saginaw United kids would think potentially that they were going to get a chance to go over and
get a
little drink of water and talk to Coach for a minute.
I'm sure some of the players would have rather stay on the field than I'll talk to Coach later.
Second down at 8 for Saginaw United. McCune again back in the shotgun. Single back to his left.
Interesting to see if Western brings some pressure right now with them being pinned back so far, as they're showing a lot of different looks.
Boy, they're threatening to shoot the gaps, and what a great pass completion on the play going to Allen, number 11. And Western defensively just going for the big hit and not the wrap. So Allen picks up actually about another 7-8 yards after contact.
Yeah, Forrester went in and actually had the first opportunity to make contact with them. And he's getting some words of advice from his coaching staff right now. Like
encouragement.
Wrap.
Encouragement,
Just wrap him.
But I'll tell you, very nice throw from McCune right on the button. Nice seam route, and Allen just kind of sat in that seam and kept running, and the ball from McCune was on time and on target.
Well, that's exactly what they were looking for, get out of the shadows of their end zone.
All right, now they're properly formed as the wide receiver here was 3 wide, which would have caused a flag, but not a dead ball. But McCune going to throw the ball, and that was baited and picked down the sidelines, tiptoeing, can't make it into the end zone, but what a beautiful play.
Ben Kohaney with the pick. Tell you what, Kohaney, you talked about baiting him. He, of course, didn't help that his receiver slipped a little bit either. You know, that's nice. Everything was good on the play. Couldn't worked out any better for Kohaney.
Well, and as you know, one of my favorite shows growing up was Gentle Ben, and Gentle Ben wasn't too nice to Saginaw United there because he kind of just sat back there like a center fielder and watched the play develop and stepped right in front of the wide receiver and made a great return down to the 13-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Well, waiting on somebody.
There's too big a gap on that offensive line. Coach Willards is going to take a timeout, make sure his troops are all on the same page. We'll take one as well and be back in a moment on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back on BCTV, we'd like to take a moment to thank our great sponsors. We've got Covenant Healthcare, Collier Chiropractic, Bay City Bills. We have got Frank's Great Outdoors, the Bay City Schools, and also Village Towing. So great sponsors this year as handoff coming to the near side of the field. Stiff arm times 2 to get to the outside. Down, tiptoeing down the sidelines to the goal line. Is he going to be in? They're going to call him out at the 1 yard line. What a great run after 2 nice stiff arms.
Well, Julian is slated for surgery on Thursday, so this is his last game of this season. He's going to be out 6 months, and he's definitely earning his playing time through practices, obviously, but getting out here, the games we've seen him, he's got 5 touchdowns and 15 carries, and he was trying to make that 6 and 16.
Well, and the way he hit that pylon, I think they could have given it to him. Julian's going to bang forward. He doesn't get touched till he's in the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
We're going to have some tired arms on those cheerleaders as we are now up to 27-0 in favor of the Warriors. But I tell you what, though, we watched him a couple weeks ago. Julian bang, 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 bang. And then he breaks one for 50. Today we watched him break for 18, and this one right here, just a simple shot up the middle. Didn't look like he had to go too far.
A little icing on the cake. Thank you for getting us down on the doorstep, so we'll allow you to finish what you started. Clark gets a good exchange. Kick is up from Malin, and the extra point is good. Time out of the field with 4 minutes left in our first half. Western 28. And Saginaw United, nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back on Bay County TV is Malin says, I've had 4 extra points and 5 kickoffs here, including this one in the first half, but he says, I can handle that. This is another high, deep, end-over-end kick. And trying to go sideways again, looking for a seam, and boy, he is cleaned up at about the 17 or 18-yard line. And when you try and go east and west against Bay City Western, they're going to find somebody that's going to get after you.
Again, if you're watching on replay here and you're just watching them come down and they're really maintaining the discipline that they need to have. They're not over pursuing. They're not allowing their lanes to be compromised. And great job by Western. And when you are going to try and go east and west, that is not going to bode very well. You're going to need a lot more speed and a lot more blockers.
I believe Connor Nickel was that initial hit on the return man for Saginaw United. And again, we've talked about it a couple of times, Jason, but we've got very limited numbers for these Saginaw United kids. We've got all their names, but we can't guess, and so we're trying to do our best. We surmise that McCune is the quarterback, so we're going with that as he on first down with 3:51 left in the first half is going to hand that ball off. And again, shedding a couple of tacklers at the line of scrimmage and pushing forward for a gain of about 5.
Well, there's one way right there what they did on the offensive set to really eliminate some of that pressure that their quarterback and their running back were facing. They were able to split 2 wideouts to each side. Well, that's going to take your two extra defenders and keep them away, plus you're able to see where the safety's at. So now you're back to 6 guys in the box versus 8 or 9.
Well, and Western again has showed multiple blitz packages, most generally only coming with a 5th man. So now we're going to see as they line up again on 2nd down and 3 yards to go. McCune again very, very patient. And handoff going absolutely nowhere up the middle, and there'll be a loss on the play of about 2 yards. As coming up out of that stack with the initial hit defensively is Colton Hopp, who's had another great first half of football.
I couldn't tell if it was Hopp who landed on top or Blair that had the shoe, but it looked like a shoestring stop, just enough to allow the rest of his defensive up front forward to get back there and put him down to the ground and make him lose a yard.
Well, and there's not a whole lot of better feeling than holding on for dear life, knowing you're a split second away from having 3 or 4 of your best defensive friends coming to finish what you started.
Yeah, that's always something to keep in the back of your mind going, you know what, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't have to hang on for too long. I got company coming. And if you got company coming and you don't got to make food at this age, that's a great tribute for the kids, especially for the parents. 3rd down and about 6. Trying to come on the jet sweep, and they have got that one stymied. As
tackle by Resmer.
Yep, Resmer is saying, I absolutely am not going to allow them to turn the corner. And I think that the Western is going to take a timeout because they've got $1:49 left in the first half. They might have an opportunity to see if they can put one more on the board. We'll take a quick timeout and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV as Saginaw United has the appearance that they are going to punt the football, as Western should get plus 50-yard field position here.
They've been close a couple of times on getting a block here, so I wouldn't be surprised to throw a little bit extra pressure, see if they can make something.
But he just takes one quick step. Frost is going to take this one. He's going to get to the outside. He's got the speed. He's got the quarter. Cuts it back across the grain. Still on his feet, and finally soundly hit as he gets down to the 20-yard line. But I'll tell you what, he's a pretty exciting return guy. He's scooting here and there and turning around and trying to make it happen. But a return of about 25 yards, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors, as they've got themselves in a great starting field position with a short field here and about 36 left in the half, and I believe Western with one timeout remaining.
A couple yellow hankies out there, some little laundry coming out. I'm not sure it's illegal block. Of course, you're always wondering, how far back it's going to put you, because those would be spot fouls, correct?
That is correct if it's a block in the back. And that happened around the 37-yard line, so we're going to say it's around the 35. And again, when you're throwing that flag, the most important thing is just get it in the neighborhood.
Right.
You can adjust it that couple of yards, and people don't understand how and why they pick it up. As our referee is taking his time to give us an indication. Now we got a block in the back against the Western return team, but they're still going to have the ball at the 45-yard line.
So the first one was declined, the block in the back, but they're going to assess the holding call. So tell me, is there a difference in yardage, or was it just a spot for each
spot? Yep. Have to be the spot that it occurred, but again, a short field for Western with $1:36 left in the first half.
And a very capable kicker. So again, field goal range, probably get to the 30. I think Malin will have a chance.
Clark coming this way, boy. He's got Frost downfield. Just a little bit underthrown again, and another ball picked off by Saginaw United as they're going to come back across the field, still running. He's getting a little bit tired now, but he makes a couple of people miss. Allen stays on his feet. He's down to the 45-yard line of the Western Warriors. And again, Clark for the second time in this game. If he puts a little air under that, Frost was well behind the defender, but credit a great defensive interception that time by Saginaw United.
Yeah, I watched it as it was developing. I think he split off of his defensive assignment when he saw Frost sneak behind the other two and made himself available back there and flipped the field. And they're at their 45-yard line of the Warriors, so they're already on plus side with 1:15 left.
Well, they get a plus 10 on that turnover from the Western 45. Now they go to the other 45. So with $1:15 left, Saginaw United is going to look to try and double their offensive output for the year here in the last minute and change.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I think that they're trying to spread the field a little bit more, maybe try and find one of those seam routes, a little tight end seam route, but hasn't been able to be the lucky call so far as he keeps handing the ball off. Or
McCune is back there, and he kind of fumbles it, but boy, he jitterbugs forward, and he picks up about 12, 13 yards on the play down to the 32-yard line.
Stops the clock.
Yep, the clock will stop as we move the chains. And still 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Western had pretty good contain there. They just could not get McCune down, and he got a nice gain.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a design sneak or if it was because the snap was a little off. And
I think yes.
Yes.
But, you still got to be able to make something out of nothing, and he certainly made a big play out of nothing.
But, again, by keeping that defense spread, they can't stay right up on you, as I don't think.
Boy, nobody was ever set there. All right. So that ball is incomplete, and we're going to have illegal shift. Oh, he's going to call it 5 in the backfield instead of illegal shift. So I would probably see that Western's going to want to push him back 5 yards and let him replay the down with 35 ticks left in the game, first half.
Well, obviously, you are in Coach Willard's headset. That's exactly what he's going to do. Send him back 5 yards and make it a 1st and 15 with 35 seconds left for a team that has struggled getting some positive yardage. Let's keep him a little bit further away from the end zone.
Well, and again, McCune, amongst others, is one of those real jitterbug-ish type runners that could make people miss, and they thrive in the open field. And, they're not big physical kids, but they're little whoop-whoop move here and there, and I think you got them, and you're pulling up air.
Be interesting to see, again, keep them spread. Try to keep the middle of the field open in case you can get your quarterback out a little bit.
I think they have to run spread, trying to keep the defense stretched out to allow their players an opportunity to make a play here and there. As 1st and 15, no jet sweep here. Here comes the Western pressure, throwing that ball downfield. Superb defense and unbelievable grab. I can't see who the Western defender back there was certain he was going to make that interception, and it's a Saginaw United touchdown.
That is music to the United ears right now.
That almost doubles their output here in the first 5 games. What a perfectly thrown ball from McCune.
I thought it had a chance to be intercepted, and from the onset of its release, I was like, I'm not sure about that one, but I tell you what, great concentration by that receiver. Great, again, like you said, great defense.
I'm trying to see the number back there. It might be Berthume that was on the corner. I can't really tell, but here's an opportunity to go for a 2-point conversion. And trying to kick that ball out. There is nowhere to go. We're going to have time out on the field now with 28.9 ticks left in the first half. And it's 28-6. Western will get their hands back on the ball with 28.9 seconds left and 1 timeout in just a moment on BCTV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Great sponsors: Covenant Healthcare, Collier Chiropractic, Village Towing, Bay City Bills, Frank's Great Outdoors, the Bay City Schools, and also thanks to the All Saints Booster Club that helps to support our program. So we're very grateful for all that step up to make it happen. So nice job to move things back again as we got ready to go on, Jason. The Saginaw United kick team was not real proficient on where to go and how to set up. They haven't had to do that a whole lot this year.
Usually about once a game, either to start the game or after halftime. So But good for them. Everything about it was good. They got the interception. They're winning the turnover battle. They're not winning the scoreboard battle right now. But again, it's early.
Now they're going to have offsides. And that's the only thing it can be. Now they're going to get together and say, okay, which one of us gets to signal it? And there shouldn't be.
Certainly isn't going to be holding.
All right. So they call it a false start and not offsides, but it's still a 5-yard penalty.
So it sends them back to the 35-yard line, and as they go back 5, the Western return team moves up 5.
Well, and I think Western just got an idea of what they're going to try and do on that kick, and it's not going to go to one of the deep backs. So maybe one of the up-close guys is going to get it and pitch it back to the other guy. As that ball is going to go deep. They're setting up a return here to the near side. They've got a wall up over the 40, the 45, the 50, down to the 46-yard line with 20.4 ticks left in this first half. Boy, they had a convoy coming to the near side of the field, had it very well set up. Now Coach Willerts is going to tell Mr. Clark and Mr. Frost, as this is what we really want to see you do here in this last 20.4 ticks, and I see no reason for them not to try and just air it out and try and beat the United defense back.
Well, I think that, but if they get it down to the 35, 30-yard line, 45, 47-yard type kick, they got a timeout left. It'll stop on a first down, so a lot of things as they're going to come counter.
Well, the reason they come counter, and I like that call, because they're going to get everything they can out of the play, and they're going to get out of bounds and stop the clock, as that's Joey Decuff.
Yeah, Decuff making his first appearance in the game as far as having his name called.
So not a lot of time, only about just under 5 seconds off the clock. You save that timeout. You pick up 9 yards on the play, 2nd down and 1, as Decuff says, yes, feels good to pick up 9 and do my job and get out of bounds. Clark back. Now he's going to run forward. He picks up the first down and scoots out of bounds. So 11 seconds left, probably 2 plays left for the Western Warriors. So, again, if there's a chance that they're going to be satisfied with a field goal attempt, I would think they'd want to get about another 10, 12 yards out and make this a 35 or less field goal for Malin, but we're pretty confident he could make it from inside 40.
Correct, and again, I think when you watch on film, you're going to see Frost just continues to sneak his way through and then sneak his way out just like he is right there. They threw it under. Ooh, now the timeout's got a call.
Yep.
Got a call.
They'll use their timeout with 3.7 ticks left, and you've got 2 choices. You throw it to the end zone, or you bring Malin out for an opportunity to kick the field goal. I think he's going to bring Malin out and give him a shot. What a great open field tackle by one of the Saginaw United defenders, though, Jason, as it looked like that potentially was going to go for a big play, but just kind of dove out there and sweeps the arm out and catches the back of the ankle.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. I'm sitting here thinking, but, the tough part, especially at the high school level, if he makes the catch, there's no scoreboard down there. So while he's running for his life to try to get out of bounds and gain some yardage, it's a combination of sorts that you're trying to. So running away from the clock probably ended up working out better so that they were able to get the field goal attempt out there on the field.
But, what you teach in that situation is if you don't feel like you can get to the end zone, you get to the sideline.
Right.
And so Malin's going to try a field goal here. This one's going to officially be from 41 yards. It's a high snap. It's got enough leg. It's straight enough. And it's good. No time left on the first half clock with the field goal good. It's Western 31 and Saginaw United 6. Back in a moment to recap the first half. We'll set the stage for the second half right here on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. as a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back at the Collier Chiropractic halftime show here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. And human nature says that you read the paper, look at the stats, and you might not come out with the intensity you come out against a big opponent, but they put 31 points on the board in the first half and have a fair assessment that they may be refocused in the locker room at halftime.
Well, yeah, but, it's 31-6 at halftime. The 2 turnovers, one leading directly to the Saginaw United score. A couple just underthrown balls, maybe some ill-advised things that are correctable, things that I think that Coach Willards and his staff will really talk about. Maybe not at halftime. I think they're going to have their focus on the defensive side of things. I think that there's too many missed tackles going on right now, going for the big hits and not finishing. And I think, knowing that Coach Willards and his staff, pride themselves on being sound fundamentally. And so I think that's where you're going to see a lot of their focus. I think, the passes and the interceptions, we can correct those. Those are correctable mistakes. Life is good. We'll be all right. Offensively, threw up 31 points. You're doing something all right. You got great running combination between Julian and back there. You've had Robinson back there. You had Clark a couple times. And if Clark can, again, just get a couple of those passes with some loft on it, man, I mean, this game could be 45-46 or nothing.
Well, I like after his first interception, had a nice little swing pass. Easy pitch and catch and pick up about 13 yards, kind of get Clark's confidence going again. And he knows he had a couple of balls in the first half. If he puts a little more air underneath them, there's the potential for another couple of scores, but they're moving the ball pretty well offensively. They haven't put the ball down on the turf. They had one kind of missed snap that threw everything off that led to an interception, too. So you're right, a couple of mental mistakes, and they're right back in this, making it happen.
Yeah, they are. And again, it's like as a coach, in the middle of a game at halftime, there's so many different things that are going on, especially – where do you want to place your focus? Where do you want to place as far as your adjustments? You can't adjust 10 things at halftime. You have to really focus in on a couple, which is why I think you see a lot of times coaching staffs will walk in, several minutes after the players get in there. So it gives the staff an opportunity to kind of air some grievances at each other and talk amongst each other. And the more camaraderie that you have, the more tighter, the closer that you are as a staff, you're able to shoot things out real quick, and then we need to focus on this, and that way you're not going in there and bombarding the players with 20 different things when you really can only focus on about 3.
Well, I think the one thing that the message that Coach Willards is going to have, the effort was there, but I really think they need to make certain that they don't underestimate anybody. And so, therefore, I really look for their intensity to come up one more peg to start the third quarter, to send the message that you've got your score, and now we are going to look to bury you.
Yeah, and again, we talked earlier in this game about trying to impose their will, a couple of different defensive front looks. They're trying to come in with some blitzing packages from different positions, different size, different gaps. But let's talk about what Saginaw did. Saginaw spread the field so that you weren't able to put 8 or 9 guys in the box and make those guys spread out even a little bit, give the linebackers where they're not right on top of your D-line and right on top of your offensive line. So it was a great move by the Saginaw United to really try to neutralize the Western defense because their pressure was good. Their front 4 were getting in the backfield. It wasn't like they were being stopped up front. They were getting in there. So one way to do it, try to give your quarterback, who we found is Jordan Allen, number 7. We're working on numbers, but yeah. Jordan Allen is the quarterback, but gives him a little bit more time to, again, scan the field a little bit quicker without having a sea of brown coming at you.
Well, a lot of these players from Saginaw United have those 3 special letters after their name, ATH. They're athletes. In open space, they're not big, strong, physical people, but they're small. They have that little jitterbug move that just makes the defender guess for a minute, and by the time you refocus, he's already past you.
Well, we saw that on the interception. I thought he was down a couple of times, and all of a sudden you just start seeing the wave of players coming at us, and then all of a sudden you see him come to a stop, and you see him going away. It's like
They're
centipede.
slippery.
Yeah, like a little centipede, just kind of going back and forth, up and down.
Well, you're dating yourself, brother.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a great game. But all in all, it's good. It was fun to watch, and let's see what they do as far as adjustments, because they have let Frost get behind him a little bit on defense, and that's going to come back to bite him, because Clark has shown he has a strong enough arm to toss it back there.
Well, Western gets the second half kickoff, and it will be interesting to see how that mood is set for the second half. A lot will be shown on that first drive.
I think so. I think you're just going to come out. You're going to see some running back to Robinson. I think you're going to see Clark. I still think you're going to see Clark pass, and I think that's one of the things that they want to show him as a staff, the confidence that you have to have as a quarterback, not wondering if your coaches have lost confidence in you. And when they dial up passing plays, it allows you to kind of do what you naturally do, and in this case, throw the ball a little bit. So I think you're going to see, a typical Western. You're going to see some running. You're going to see some counters. You're going to see maybe a slip-out pass and try to get Frost. I think getting Frost, Frost is a special player, and it's just trying to, get him a touch in space where we watch him. He runs all over the place too. He runs into contact. I think he just wants to make a highlight film. But at the end of the day, I think you got a couple of special athletes out there on the Western side to get on the ball, let them do their thing.
That about puts the wraps on our Collier Chiropractic halftime show. Back with all the second half action in just a moment on BCTV.
Come see the difference at Collier Chiropractic. We are a family-owned local business located in Bay City that offers innovative treatment and care for our patients. If you're in pain, stressed out, and you don't have time for that, taking care of your pain safely and naturally is what we do best. At Collier Chiropractic, we have an award-winning chiropractic and massage therapy team. We believe in delivering the best care and service to every patient. We offer same-day appointments, evenings, and Saturday morning appointments. If you've tried other chiropractic care, physical therapy, or even medication with no results, visit Collier Chiropractic.
Back on Bay County TV as we are ready to start our second half of play. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Matthew Place doing the filming tonight. So we are ready to go for the second half, and I really think you're going to find out a whole lot about this Western team and the effectiveness of the halftime chat and adjustments here on the first drive.
I think it's tough because even though you're comfortably ahead 31-6 against a team that has only scored now 13 points on the season, you can't accept some of the things that were happening as a staff and the missed tackles or, the interceptions or, the mental mistakes. And so it's going to be very important for these guys to come out and show Coach that they got the message and they're ready to roll.
Trying to come to the near side of the field, and nice job of avoiding that hit. Big return up near midfield and staying on the feet, spinning back across the grain. Finally down at the 42-yard line. Electric return there, and a great start for Western.
I thought he was out of bounds coming over here. I thought maybe he'd just come out of bounds, but Oh, gosh, decided to take the bump and go back to the middle of the field and try and get a couple more yards, and he stiff-armed the guy probably from the 43 on the near side to the 43 in the middle of the field.
Well, I think the Saginaw United defender was going to be pretty confident that what they had was going to be knocking them out of bounds. Do we have a penalty flag down here someplace?
Yeah, we got
right here at the 39-yard line in front of Coach.
Well, I think, again, I think those right there as well. Talking not just about the turnovers, but about the mental mistakes and about the things that you can't control. How we've been taught that since 4th grade, since the BFL. If you can see the numbers, don't block them. You can see the numbers on the back of the jersey.
Yep.
If you don't see a face mask, don't block it.
Well, and the thing is, the key to that when you're coming from the side is you have got to get your helmet on the right side of the defender. And they're going to come up to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to try and catch Saginaw United not set defensively. Little trap play.
Robinson
coming upfield, and he finishes with about a 13 or 14-yard gain as he gets up to just shy of the 45-yard line. It's going to be enough to move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10. Oh, we got a player down for Saginaw United. I didn't see him there, and that's Cubas. We got the training staff over here from Bay City Western very quickly on that, but the coaching staff's going to come over, and we're going to take a peek and see.
Just about to ask you in this situation, if a player's out of bounds, even if it's on the opposite sideline, can play resume if you're the officials?
I say yes, but what they want to do is they want to stop it and allow the training staff or the coaching staff from that other side to come around and check and see what's going on. So I would not be hesitant at doing it if he was far enough off. He is right at that 6-foot line on the sideline. So I think they err on the side of caution right now. And are they potentially looking for an ambulance here? I think they might be signaling for an ambulance. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place here. We have had upwards of about a 60-minute delay. We had a injured player from Saginaw United, and I believe we had a compound fracture. So the Auburn Williams first responders were here and potentially stabilized the situation, but we had to wait for our friends from MedStar to come, and so we are ready to play football. The kids are stretched out. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Robinson gets the direct.
Robinson stays on his feet, able to make a couple of people miss, and picks up about 15 yards on the play down to the 40. And Robinson has really shown the ability to make people miss tonight and has picked up a lot of yards after contact.
He has. One of the things I'm impressed with, again, coming out of a long delay like they just had to endure was, how's that first snap and getting hit again after being off for 60. And the temperatures dropped a little bit, too, there in the little break. So
temperatures have dropped quite a bit in the last half, 3/4 of an hour. Clark now trying to go up the middle. Look at the patience again as he kind of just pushes people around. Robinson. Yep. Just thought that was Clark for a minute, but it's just the Robinson show as he comes to the near sideline again. And, you got to be a little deflated if you're Saginaw United right now, too, seeing one of your comrades, one of your better players in pain on the sidelines and finally taking off. And now you got to kind of refocus your mindset to play football again.
Yeah, it's not easy. We saw that we saw that at the, what game did we call where the guy went down with an injury? And with the Kersley Central game back in week 2.
Oh, yes.
And they had a running back, and you could just kind of see it just really deflate the Kersley squad and his teammates. But Again, it shows a lot of character, trying to figure out which way you're going to lean. Are you going to be able to lean on each other and bounce back stronger and bond together a little bit more? As Robinson with another direct handoff, trying to get to the outside.
He does get to the outside, and he blows a tire going around the corner for a gain of about
10-yard line is dangerous over there. It just jumps right up and grabs you.
And we're at the point of the night where we get a little dew forming on the field, so it's with the chill, you got to be a little bit extra cautious when you go to hit that plant-footed. Oh, boy, he's upset right now because he was ready to get into the end zone and enjoy a celebration in the green grass of home.
Yeah, he had a lot of green grass in front of him. Unfortunately, the little turf monster got up. But, again, it's
+7.
Yeah, second down, 4. We'll call it 4 with just under 10:15 left here in quarter number 3.
A little pass to the outside, wide open. This pass much better thrown. Frost in the corner of the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown. Well, Clark went back to him, and boy, he made just a little quick inside move, went back to the corner. The ball was delivered on time and on target.
I'm not going to say that I talked about that in the halftime because it seems like I talked about it 3 hours ago now. But we talked about...
I think that was back in the 2021 season.
Talked about getting Frost, getting the ball out to him, letting Clark get that up there, and, trying to resume and regain that confidence both in receiver and in the quarterback as Malin will come out and attempt his 5th PAT of the game.
Does not look like Clark will be holding for this extra point. It's up, it's plenty long, and it's good. Time out of the field with 10:04 left in our third quarter of play. 37-6, 38-6 with the extra point. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients. With the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back on BCTV. We'll get them all out. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors for making tonight's game possible. Covenant Healthcare, Collier Chiropractic, Village Towing, Bay City Bills, Frank's Great Outdoors, and the Bay City School System. Thank you all for allowing us to bring this broadcast to you as the Western Warriors have built up a 32-point lead, and Malin says, I got to get my foot warmed up again here. It's been chilly for a while. There's a high line drive kick, and that is touched, and now we'll go back into the end zone. We'll have a touchback as it has to be fully possessed, not just touched. So that'll go out to the 20-yard line, and at that point it'll be 1st and 10 for Saginaw United.
Well, we're going to see what this adjustment talk, so to speak, was laid out at halftime with the Warriors, and what Coach Willits was, pretty direct with the defense. We both thought the defense was primary the focus, but special teams and just cleaning up a little bit of those penalties. They had a couple of holdings, they had a couple of the helmet. What's the proper term? The
helmet to helmet. Yeah.
When you put their fist to the helmets.
Well, this is blindside or to a player that was not in anticipation.
Unsuspecting.
So we'll see. A lot of the stuff you talked about almost seems like ancient history with the way that this hour-long delay went. So Saginaw United, Allen, we found out, is the quarterback. Pressure comes, ball downfield, and that is thrown out of bounds and incomplete. Very good defense that time by the Western corner. So Julian Brown, the intended receiver, and if he'd have been playing in Canada, he might have had a shot, but he ran out of real estate here at the cornfield.
Well, you got to love a little Canadian football. Mention that, just something about the Edmonton Eskimos and the Montreal Alouettes and the Winnipeg Bombers, Blue Bombers.
I was a Toronto Argonaut. Yes.
Right.
So that was fun stuff back in the day, and I like that game because there's so much legal motion before the snap leading up to the line of scrimmage.
It's all legal.
If you stay on this side of the line, it's good. Second down and 10 for Saginaw United, as Allen is back in the shotgun formation with twins to both sides, which has been pretty much their standard formation all night. Allen looks like he's going to be running for his life again as he's going to try and go around the corner. Very, very well played by Frost. And Frost says he took a quick look at him, but he says, I better help this young gentleman up. But Frost played that thing perfect because he stayed on his man long enough until Allen committed to the run, and then he took him right out around the shins. And a helmet on the shin right now will slow down a speedy guy like Allen.
Absolutely. It was very textbook right there. Waited, released, and was able to get the job done. And, hey, here's the deal. Second down and 9, which should not be second. It should be third down and 9. Did the incomplete pass not count for a down?
So Central just got a 2-point conversion and has taken the lead with 1:14 left in the game against Mount Pleasant. Isn't that a shock?
That is a
pleasant surprise.
Pleasant surprise.
Yes.
Very good. Hopefully they can hold on to that game.
Just got a text from Brother Gwiz as Matt Fallon upstairs must have gotten the same information and shared it with everybody at the cornfield. Third down, Allen running for his life right now is not going to be able to get away from that. We're going to have intentional grounding.
Well, unless they calm down first.
Nope.
There that is.
That was an easy one.
I thought, that's the thing is, the knee and everything else, but now he has to hit it with it. At least get back to the line of scrimmage on.
That is correct.
Okay, so he's out of the pocket.
And it's always something where the official closest to the referee will go and talk, but that's the referee's flag. That's just the conversation that either the line judge or the head linesman will have. So it is a 5-yard penalty and a loss of down, so it'll be fourth down. It'll be a 5-yard penalty from the spot that it happened. So we'll go from the 13 down to the 8, and we'll be in a punting situation. So pretty safe to think that Western will have another short field here to start their next offensive possession.
It's unfortunate, going back, our hearts are with the player from Saginaw United and hoping that nothing is too severe, and hopefully he'll be able to recover. But lost a running back on the same. So, it looks like Allen is going to end up putting a little bit more of the not a good punt as it goes to Frost at about the 26-yard line.
Frost is down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to get into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
I don't know.
You got the old yellow hanky on the 16-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you, the Western special teams has been penalized, I believe, for the third time tonight.
It could be. And here's the thing is it's only 3 times, but on several of them, there's been multiple penalties.
Well, and the penalty of all 3 of those special teams plays is 10 yards from the spot of the infraction. So those 3 penalties together and lost yardage could very easily be 75 or 80 yards.
It could be, and in this situation, it's going to cost them 6 points.
For now.
For now.
Yep.
For now, but on the return, I didn't see the actual signals.
I don't believe we've seen it yet. Well, the referee's scooting back, so we know it's going back this way, but...
Block in the back, so 5-yarder.
So from the 24-yard line, it'll be first and 10 for the Western Warriors.
I'll tell you what, it was an exciting run by Frost, nonetheless.
So our group moving back onto the field.
Julian on the carry, trying to get to the outside. Again, he's kind of a banger mentality. He doesn't mind getting hit, and he has shown his ability to stretch that defense out a little bit. So Julian takes it for about a 4-yard gain. The thing about it is he ran about 25 yards going east and west.
Well, and I think he's asking to come off here right now. I'm not quite certain.
It's maybe a hip.
Well, looks
he's a tough boy.
Yeah.
He ain't coming out.
Right. He says this could be my last game of the year, so I'm going to make the most of it.
Just give me the ball. Give me the ball.
Yeah, he seems to, in the past, have been most effective between the tackles, but he shows enough ability to get to the outside. And there's Clark as he bangs forward, and he'll be very close to that first down marker. I think they'll have him about a half a yard short, as we'll have third down and just a skosh to go for a first down.
A couple of inches. Looks like he got down according to the mark, about the 15, needs the 14.
7 and 24 and counting left in our third quarter of play, 38-6. Western on top, and this score would be a big one for the running clock. And again, we're well into the 9 o'clock hour here with the 9:26, with almost hour delay with a young man that we believe got a compound fracture of his leg. And by the time they got that all tended to and they were able to get him in the ambulance, it was a late night, and D-Cuff cutting around the corner. D-Cuff bangs forward, makes the first person miss, and he's going to be down inside the 7-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to end his run, and it'll be first and goal, as few players are starting to get some carries for the Western Warriors.
Yeah, we've seen DeCuff, we've seen Ogosh, we've seen Robinson, we've seen Julian. So we're down to the 6-yard line, first and goal for the Warriors. Yeah, this is an opportunity to get some guys some extra touches, and
Julian is looking like he's going to be around the right side. He's into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
I don't understand. It seemed like he just walked in and nobody raised their arms. There wasn't a lot of hoopla.
Well, it almost looked crazy the way he went in. I had to do a double take to see if the way the defense reacted, if maybe they fooled me and he didn't have the ball.
We fooled you. That doesn't happen.
Well, not often. But we're going to have a Malin attempt for an extra point. And we will be in a running clock situation as soon as the kickoff comes. That ball sails all the way back to the track. That was a thunderfoot. And timeout on the field with 6 and 24. Left in the third, 45-6 Western. Back in a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first. And athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here on Bay County TV as the Western Warriors have come out and done what we kind of thought they'd do in the third quarter. They're making a statement. And we'll see what they're able to continue. And again, we're in a running clock situation with tips.
We'll talk about tips real quick right after
Oh, man, do we love tips.
And as this kickoff by Malin will lead us into the tips conversation.
As there's a line drive kick, and that's going to be taken on the 12-yard line. Trying to go the width of the field, and again, they have not shown the ability to go west to east tonight on those kick returns. Yep.
West to east, east to west.
Yep, one to the other to here, but it's a deep situation back to the 17.5-yard line, officially the 18th. It'll be first and 10 for Saginaw United.
So talking about these tips, so once a score gets above 35 points in the second half of a football game, it is a running clock situation, meaning the clock will only stop for tips. T as in timeouts.
Correct.
I as in injury.
Correct.
P as in penalty.
Correct.
And S as in scores.
Correct.
Look at that.
You are making great progress, fine sir.
Grasshopper.
Young grasshopper. And again, handoff in the backfield, and Western just attacking as the train's coming by, and it's the sights and sounds at the cornfield. It's all good stuff right now. They're going slow by. They want to catch a couple plays before they get out of view.
It's going to stop, reverse, go back to the beanery, say they forgot something.
Yep.
Come back
just because.
So they got to change the scoreboard. They got to put it at the other end. They can't see.
5 minutes and counting left in the third. Again, 45-6, Western on top. Now in a running clock situation. Loss of 1 on that first down play. So as the Saginaw United obviously doesn't seem to be in any great hurry to make anything happen, as they're waiting until the last 5 seconds, and they're going to run a jet sweep to the outside. And Western again, that first contact is at least slowing him down enough that the rest of the pursuit gets to him. And they're going to say virtually no gain on the play. It's going to be third down now and 11 yards to go. And this, if they can't move the ball and Western puts another one in, then with only 2 touchdowns on the year, Saginaw United's probably not in a situation where they're going to be able to stop that running clock at any point soon.
No, and unfortunately, they're not set up. You know, I mean, offensively, with only putting up 7 before tonight, putting 6 up tonight, but they're not set up to score quick. They would love to, and they would love to get their athletes the ball, but I think the one thing that we have been remiss now that we found out who their quarterback was is he's only a freshman. And he does wing the ball around pretty impressively.
Well, and I'm pretty certain that I remember this young gentleman from last year at Willie Thompson, and he is a very, very talented young man, but very seldom are freshmen impact players on a varsity team in that first year of high school competition.
Let alone in the Saginaw Valley League. So now we're in a situation where Saginaw United back to punt. Gives the Warriors an opportunity again. You know, this is something try to shore up. Let's not block anybody in the back. Let's not hold anybody. And that's a tough one right there. And the situation is looked like it may have bounced off of a Warrior before it was recovered by number 24 on the play for the Warriors, Connor Sikoe. But I was just going to say, you know, the grass, calling for a fair catch in this temperature as it's crisp up, nice, beautiful fall weather. That's a gamble.
Well, and at that point, if you're not 100% certain you're going to get to it, you yell fire and you just get your own teammates away from it, so the ball can't take a bad hop and go into one of your teammates and have the chance to be picked up by the Saginaw United defense.
Well, one of the things we talked about that they needed to improve upon was the turnovers. You know, they had 2 turnovers on the interceptions as Robinson gets the handoff and works his way
downfield. He's going to end up at about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, about 5 carries a night. I think he's pretty close to 75 yards right now.
Oh, I would say with a half a dozen carries, he's tickling 100 yards.
Yeah, he hasn't been, I think he may have had one where he was pushed down, or tackled down without gaining a first down. He seems to be an instant first down type of guy.
And looks like Forrester's coming in to get a few snaps right now.
Well, you know, I did see Clark earlier kind of slapping at his hand a little bit, maybe like he may have got a little stinger on it, maybe hit a helmet on the follow through.
Looks like we got a little offsides penalty on Saginaw United. As again, Forrester's no stranger to this position. He got the week 1 start at quarterback. So here's one of the situations where the clock is stopped long enough for the penalty to go up, and that referee can't hardly wait for that ball to touch the turf because he's cranking. He might need ibuprofen for that arm at the end of this one.
Tell you what, they were cold out there while they were waiting. It wasn't like they were able to retreat to a warming tent. So
yeah, and it's very, very hard because as an official, you're dressed to stay warm through movement, not the extra layer.
Correct.
As Forrester says, I'm going to hand that ball off, and I got another penalty flag. What do we have here?
Offside on the United. So here's my question to you. In high school football, do you not let the play run? Is it an automatic whistle?
Yes.
Okay.
The only time the play runs is if you've got 5 in the backfield. And that way, you know, you have the option or you've got the motion penalty. But other than that, yep, you kill it. If the offense jumps, if the defense is in the neutral zone, if the offense is doing that. So handoff on the play. And looked like Aiden Robinson. I had to check for a second as he took off on the far side of the field. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
Tell you what, there's not a lot of energy when they run into the end zone. They just simply run in and toss the ball to the official, and life is good. But
boy, what a shock going on at Bay City Central right now. Less than a minute to go. Central still on top, 22-21. What a great way for the homecoming crowd to be celebrating at this point. What's a chance for a victory? The extra point is up and it's good. Timeout with 40 ticks left in the third, 52-6. Back in a moment for the last 40 of the third and the final 12 after this on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Noosh. I'm glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place doing the filming tonight. We're appreciative of his efforts as we gave Nick the night off to take Mama to a concert at the Soaring Eagle tonight. So we're making it happen right now as Malin's going to warm up his foot and send another thunder shot down deep inside the 10-yard line as Saginaw United trying to come upfield up over the 20 to the 25, running out of real estate is going out of bounds. And again, we apologize as we do not have very many of the numbers for the Saginaw United. They sent us a roster with no numbers on it, so we've been able to garnish a few here and there, but for the most part, we're not able to give them the love and the credit that they need and deserve.
We've tried to talk with a couple different folks, and they've been very forthcoming with some of the names and helped us out tremendously. So we do give kudos. It looks like maybe one of the coaches from upstairs, as well as a couple of the players made on the injured reserve list. But that takes us to the end of quarter number 3. The score is Bay City Western 52, Saginaw United 6. We'll be right back here on Bay County Sports TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back on Bay County TV is the start of the last 12 minutes, and as soon as that first snap goes, we are going to be in a running clock situation once again.
Be 1st and 10 for the United at the 30-yard line.
As the Saginaw United remains in that spread formation with twins to both sides. Allen, the freshman quarterback. And there is a handoff again, and very nice job in the second half. The initial hit for Western has at least slowed down and stood up the running back or the receiver enough to very, very quick help coming to finish the play.
No, but they're doing it into the backfield. They're getting 2-3 yards deep, so when that first contact, so when he is able to squirt away and it looks like some positive yards from the first hit, it's only 1 yard, so it brings up 2nd and 9. Not a lot of urgency out of the Saginaw United. Again, they're not a quick scoring team. They haven't scored a lot of points this year. This is kind of what they have endured throughout the season, so they still have a lot of things to work on, and I think that's the one thing, as a coach, it's easy as parents and fans to say one thing as the handoff goes to Allen, a little pitch.
A little room out there for Allen.
It was.
Yep, and that shut down in a big hurry too, but Allen was forced to make that decision very, very quickly as the defense from the left side from Western just caved in the offensive line, and somebody got through untouched, so it'll be a gain. We're going to give them about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go here with 10:35 and counting left in the 4th.
And I'm going to give Dakota Nordstrom the tackle on that one. Not only did he plant him, he actually wanted to make sure he got up. Very sportsmanlike of Dakota. But again, going back to, the one thing Western's been able to do, especially the second half, besides on the offensive side of scoring, they've been able to really start dictating that front five. And we talked about conditioning when you got going both ways. After a while, you do start to, your knees start to shake a little bit and you start to break.
So Allen's back to pass, throws that ball downfield, and it's just overthrown. Very nice leverage defense that time by the Western Warriors.
Yeah, Dutch had really good leverage on that, and I think the only person that was going to, he made sure of it, the only person that was going to catch that ball was going to be Tate. So it brings up 4th down and 5. Do you punt? Do you try to go for it?
They'll punt. I think as deep as they are, they've got to at least try and flip the field a little bit, even though Western has done a really nice job on punt returns tonight.
They're pressured, too, because they're forcing quick punts, so you're not getting a lot of hang time, you're not getting a lot of distance on it, as Tyler Millick is back for the Warriors to collect this punt.
Boy, what a nice job. He picked that one up around the old shoot tops and was able to get about 8 yards on the return out to the 45, and that's one of the things going into the film session. If you make that nice grab and you go forward, that's all good. If you try and make that grab and it hits the ground, they might replay it a time or two.
They might, and the other thing is when your head's down at your shoelaces, you're not seeing that guy coming down, barreling down that hasn't been touched.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Again, they're blessed with making some substitutions, getting some other people some minutes, and gotta love the meaningful snaps in the ball game. Again, from their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10.
Their field position tonight has been incredible.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I cannot remember one complete long field that they had to run down to get a score. I would think maybe 70 yards might be their longest drive of the night.
Now we got another exchange. Now we got a timeout.
Nope.
We don't have a timeout.
No timeout, and I think they got the right personnel out there, and they still don't even have the 10 seconds up yet, so they maybe abandoned that on this last play. Trying to slide forward, another new running back for the first time.
Kiso is in the house.
Kiso got some love late in the game against Midland Dow a couple of weeks ago when we were here.
He had a couple nice runs. One got called back, and he went further on the next run. He said, well, anything you can do?
Yep, I can do one better.
And he did.
So you give him an unofficial gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down and a long 5-yard to go. Kiso might get another one. He gets another handoff, and he's able to turn the corner. And he says, I can run out of bounds now because I know the clock's going to keep running, as he finishes with authority. And at the 42-yard line, we'll move the sticks, and it'll be another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Here's an opportunity. We talk about getting players opportunities and some meaningful minutes. You got to keep running your offense. You got to be able to keep running, because it's pointless for them to go out there and put players into a situation and then try to do something that they're not, or be somebody that they're not. So they've got to be able to run the ball. And as much as you hate to say it, you're going to have to make the tackles if you're on the defensive side. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not running the score up. They're playing football. There's 6 minutes left in this football game.
Well, and these guys have worked hard in practice to earn these snaps right now, so it's very important. A little fake handoff one way and going back the other way with a nice shake and bake and a spin and staying on his feet, trying to get to pay dirt down to the 11-yard line on the play. Nick Doran, the ball carrier. I was going to say we don't have a number 30.
Oh, that's because he comes up on the
from the JV
from
team.
The 5th quarter deal. Yep. So we a couple of weeks ago we had some proud grandparents or parents, whoever came up here and made sure that we knew for sure who number 30 was.
That it was a Nick Doran. Great job, though, as the ball will be officially down about the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
A little misdirection there, handoff. They've been going over the short side of the field. Yep.
Doran has that high snap, and as you are taught, the one thing you want to do is you just want to pounce on it. You do not want to try and pick it up and not be able to get it and have a turnover. So they'll live for another down. That's going to be about a 12-yard loss on the play. So it's going to be 2nd down and a big.
Well, we got an injury, so there's part of your tips. So we've had scores, we've had penalties, now we have an injury timeout, and we haven't had a timeout, but we will take one right now as the medical staff will go out and take a look at him. It is 52 in favor of the Western Warriors, 52-6 in favor of the Western Warriors. We'll be right back here on Bay County Sports TV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors, and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
Back here on Bay County as it's now second down and a country mile and a half, 34 yards to go as there was a offensive holding penalty on the Western Warriors. And you're at the point in the ball game, if it's not a safety issue, I'm inclined to say keep the yellow hanky in your pocket. Mama doesn't need to Tide stick it because of grass stains. And let's get this one completed before somebody else gets injured.
Well, I thought a couple things. One, the ball was snapped over the head, and he landed on it rather quickly, almost to the point where you would have to have held immediately on the snap.
And I do not understand these lengthy discussions amongst the officials. It should not take them this long to differentiate what is going on and where the penalty took place from, or whatever they're trying to decide. Let's just get this thing in the books. I think that they're being way too visible out there right now, and there's no need for it in my mind. Now you're going to go over and you're going to tell the Saginaw United coach what's going on. Play ball.
At this point, it sounds nice? A bonfire. That would sound really nice.
I have one going on at my house right now. It'd be nice if I could get there before all the wood's burned up.
Oh, well, now we're knocking back some more.
Now where we're going to put that sometime around the 25-yard line.
Which was where he went down at. That's where the ball was
correct. Originally snapped and downed.
I don't know. I think we should just cue the circus. What they say?
Yeah. This is just way too lengthy. I get the fact that they've got it right, but that 10 yards is not going to make a big difference in anything. And at least, all right, so you're going to tell more to Coach Willards. I would say you've explained things. We're going to just finish this game. Just get that clock started.
Okay, there is a hold. That was declined. So they're going to go with 2nd and 23. 3rd and 23.
I don't even have a good comment for this. So, anyways, the clock is rolling again with 5 and 20 left. And
Marchiso
banging forward. Marchiso is really getting a nice little thrust there as it'll now be 4th down. So all this transpired, and what essentially happened is Saginaw United decided that they would take the result of the play versus the penalty, and the officiating crew must have just assumed that the penalty was going to be granted without checking with the head coach, which is all part of your pregame plan, as looks like Marchiso another run, and he picks up 4 or 5 yards on the play, but he'll be far short of the 1st down. But the clock continues to roll. It'll be 1st and 10, Saginaw United. But when you have a pregame, you say, Coach, if it's an obvious, we're going to do it. If not, do you want to be the person to accept or decline the penalty? And 100 times out of 100, they'll say yes. And so now they're going to be talking about it a little bit more. And I guess it doesn't matter if they want to talk more about it because the clock's running.
That's all we care about at this point. Talk all you want. Just keep talking.
Yeah, and I think the back judge will have that last 10 seconds in his pocket. I think his hand will be there. So They just want to mercifully make this happen, and the official just started the 25-second clock, so he's trying to be judicious with the clock management here down the stretch as well. Allen, the freshman, with a single back to the side, twins to both sides, and Western showing the same thing they have all night long, that pressure. They come with 5. That ball is overthrown, but at this juncture of the game, an overthrow still remains a running clock.
That is right, because overthrow isn't part of tips.
Correcto.
It's not tops.
So now we're down to just over 3 minutes left of the game. Again, 52-6. Western in complete control of this ball game. We're looking for an update at the end of that Central game, and there was just over a minute left, and Central had a 1-point lead over the number 2 team in the state.
That was about 10 minutes ago. That's the longest minute.
Might have been a lot going on. The longest minute, the longest yard, it's the longest everything. So back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10 yards to go for Saginaw United, as we're down to 2:40 and counting left in the contest.
Well, the other thing is we are about the 2 of the only few people that are still left here. A lot of people have made their way to the exits, trying to get a little warm.
Well, it's getting crispy indeed. So Allen with another deep throw, and that is going to be incomplete. And again, that's going to take a lot of time to retrieve that ball and get it back, as we're down to about 2:15 and counting left in this ball game. And in that last hour that we've had to wait because of that injury to the Saginaw United player, let's just say it's gotten very crispy outside.
Crispy as in cold, folks. Crispy as in cold, not crispy as in warm.
It is chilly, and I think we're probably going to have about another couple of snaps left in this game. We're down inside $150 and counting left in the game. Allen back again with twins on both sides of the field. There's going to be a handoff, and again, it's going to be a Western ball. So Western now can do what they need to do to just take their time and get out on the field. They will not snap the ball until there's about 50 seconds left.
Little victory formation for the Warriors, which will be great offensive play call by the offensive coordinator. There's no better call in the business anymore.
When you take that hand and you tap it on your right knee a couple times in a row, that is the signal for you're taking a knee. It's the victory formation, and it is a thing of beauty for the efforts that have been able to put forth, as they're going to wait for this thing to get right down until the back judge raises his hand, so that way they're only going to have to snap this ball one time, as they're snapping it, and that will be the last time that they've got to take care of this for the game. Let's head to the 50-yard line, and we are going to have an opportunity to shake hands with our opponents, and this one's in the books. We'll count it down with 25 seconds left, and we will say for the first time in many, many times, that's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in our ball game, 52-6. Western on top over Saginaw United. Back with a post-game wrap-up in just a moment on BCTV. Back on the post-game show here on BCTV. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you, and second half pretty much went according to plan. I think Western's focus in the second half made a lot of good things happen.
Yeah, we talked about it at halftime, talking about dialing it in. And again, we mentioned a couple of things to really focus in on. And you can't focus in on too many. I thought defensively, shore things up was important. I thought offensively, they put up 31 points, and take away those uniforms, take away the interceptions. I'm watching the uniform exchange on the field right now, but you take away a couple of the interceptions, and that score is going to be a little bit higher. And so there were a lot of good things that they did in the first half. So I thought defensively, shoring up, getting into the backfield, getting a little bit more penetration in your front four, and they did that. Check. Got a 3-and-out. Check. Got a couple quick scores. Check. And then they shored up a couple of their penalties. I know that's still going to be a point of emphasis for Coach Willett and his staff come Monday when they get back on the field, and certainly over the weekend when they're getting to the film session. But, if they can figure out the way to keep the penalties and everything else like that, they got a chance to, again, good rebound win and ride some momentum as they go into the last 3 games of the season.
Well, they had good defensive penetration, and the initial hit defensively, even if they didn't make the tackle, slowed the progress down enough where the help came from the rest of the defense, and they finished without a lot of yards after contact.
They did. I think that's one of the, again, a point of emphasis is making sure that you're making contact, but a lot of that has to do with that team camaraderie where you're willing to do those things for your teammates. It's the same thing when you get an assist in basketball. You may be, a hockey assist type deal. You may be the second or third person, but it's your pass that leads to it. When you're really unselfish and you really don't care who gets the credit, who gets the tackles, you really put the focus in on your team. And then you slow your guy down in the backfield. You may not get the tackle in the stat sheet, but they wouldn't have got the tackle without you being in the backfield. So,
well, it was a great night for Western, a great rebound victory. That's exactly what they were looking for to move forward. Again, before we leave, I'd be remiss in not congratulating Bay City Central with a 22-21 upset over number 2 Mount Pleasant on homecoming over at Bay City Central Almaringal.
Well, we've watched them earlier this year, and you're working over there, and you're around those guys every day. And again, they've got the athletes. They've got they got a coaching staff that believes. And kudos and hats off to Coach Freddie and his staff and the rest of the players to come together. Kate Zawinski sounds like he had a great game in his first. I'm assuming his first varsity start as a Wolf, and hats off to him and getting the job done. And we look forward to seeing those guys in about 3 weeks right out here at the cornfield. And tell you what, you get some momentum running like with a big win over the number 2 rated team in the state, and you get a couple wins coming in the cornfield and maybe playing with a little playoff berth on the line. I tell you what, this place will be going nuts.
This will be a fun place indeed. That about puts the wraps on our post-game show. On behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan along with Jason Newsham. Thank you, Matthew Place. Another great job tonight. Always glad to have you in our neighborhood. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. We've got Garber and Glenn here on BCTV. Good night, everyone.